Namaste. Aloha, my name is Janapati Das, and it's time again for the Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are reading through the chapter 10, and we will see if we can finish through chapter. Please accept my respects, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be pleasing to my spiritual master, Jagat Guru Siddhaswar Bananda Paramahamsa Shil Prabhupada. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him and to my grandfather, spiritual master Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We are quickly approaching Gora Puranam, the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya, which is the beginning of March. And so let's chant. We are going to chant. That's what we're going to do. And yeah. Change the key though. Down. Namo Siddha Svarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Purakaruna Svarupaya Radha Krishna Pristayate Namo Siddha Svarupananda Paramahamsa Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Adibo Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Sadaswarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesha Sunyavani Paskajade Satarine. I was born in the darkness, ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay. So I've been reading from chapter 10, the opulence of the absolute, and Krishna is explaining the different varieties and opulences and multifarious potencies, and Krishna is just revealing just a small amount that are unfathomable by themselves. So we had been reading Akara, about the Akara, the letter A of the alphabet, Sanskrit alphabet. It's also the English alphabet, incidentally. It's the beginning, right? Right, the beginning in the name. That's why we also have the word in Greek, alpha. Alpha has an A in it. And Adi also has an A in it, you know. And Om, as we said, A is reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And talking a lot about time and death, which we will get into this next verse. I will reference that in a minute, but let's just read text 34. Mritu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtihi shirhi vakcha narinam smritir meda diliti kashama. Mrituhu, death. It's also a derivative of Marcha. Marcha is the Marcha Loka, like we refer to the planet of the earth, the planet of death, Marcha. Sarvahara, all devouring. Sarvahara, all devouring. Cha, also. Aham, I am. Udbhava, generation. Cha, also. Bhavishyatam, of the future. Kirtihi, fame. Shrivak, beautiful speech. Cha, also. Narinam, of women. Smritihi, memory. Meja, intelligence. Dritihi, faithfulness. Kashama, patience. It's a great name. Kashama, patience. I am all devouring death, and I am the generator of all things yet to be. Among women, I am the fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. So time and all devouring death. Krishna is that which consumes all the material things and sends living entities on their way and generates new things to come. And here we are, we've had this references about women in the past, and sometimes people read things about from the Bhagavad Gita, and it says things like women have less intelligence, but we have to understand that we're not neither women nor men. We are spiritual entities. But here, if we're going to make the argument, fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience, things that women tend to have, can have, and if they have, they are very attractive. So this is, as soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. That's a great moment. So, we're born, we're actually dying. We're dying. So, when people say, oh, he's dying. Oh, that's terrible. Well, actually, we're all dying. All of our bodies are dying. From the moment we entered this world, our bodies started dying. This death is devouring at every living entity at every moment, but the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. All species of life undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and they finally vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. So it's a big section in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the living entity in the womb and what happens in the living entity. Is like it's a hellish condition. Krishna is praying to be protected and to be delivered from this uncomfortable situation, to say the least. Uncomfortable. It's a pretty hellish condition. And but this is also important. We brought up this point that Krishna is death also. So when the body has to leave, Krishna is present. Krishna is present for the devotee as the Supreme Lord and like the mother who's taking the child in. But Krishna is present to the non-devotees as all devouring death, like the teeth of a lion that are going to crush the head. So it's a very fearful situation, but both things are Krishna. Krishna is present as death. The 6 opulences are considered to be feminine. If a woman possesses all of them or some of them, she becomes glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language and therefore is very glorious. After studying, if one can remember the subject matter, he is gifted with good memory or smriti. Excuse me. So this is another reason why we should try to study our Sanskrit, even if we're not Sanskrit scholars. It gives us good memory. One need not read many books on different subject matters. The ability to remember a few and quote them when necessary is another opulence. And actually, it's been instructed by our spiritual master to memorize, when you're doing outreach, to memorize at least the English things of verses, right? But if you can learn the Sanskrit, Natvevaham natu janam, never was there a time, So I tried to learn the Sanskrit when I can. It's hard, our memories are not perfect. And then things I remember, we learn certain things. It's not really too difficult, because if you say it over and over again, it's like, I used to be in theater and I would have to memorize lines. I don't really remember them now because I haven't done it. But if you do things consistently, we know the Hare Krishna mantra, we know the prayers, we know our Guru Puj prayers and things, because we've done them over and over again, the Shringa prayers and whatnot. And also I think I remember learning from the Brahma Samhita. Remember my brother Jivan Krishnadas was teaching us Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Nandiradir Govinda, and so those are just more words. So we have Sanskrit, all these verses. If you like a verse, you can try to learn the Sanskrit, memorize it. It's very nice. Text 35. Brihat Shama Tata Shamna Gayatri Chandasham Maham Mashanam Marga Shirshoham Rutunam Kushuma Karara. Brihat Sama, the Brihat Sama. Tata also Samanan of the Samaveda song Gayatri, the Gayatri hymns. Chandasham of all poetry, Aham I am. Mashanam of months, Marga Shirshoham, the month of November, December. Aham I am. Ritunam of all seasons, Kushumakaraha, spring. Of the hymns, I am the Brihat Shama, sung to the Lord Indra, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri verse, sung daily by Brahmanas. Of months, I am November and December, and of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring. Purport. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas, the Sama Veda is rich with beautiful songs played by various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihat Sama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are different rules that regulate poetry, rhyme, and meter are not written Rhyme and meter are not written whimsically as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri mantra, which is chanted by the Duli by qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam because the Gayatri mantra is especially meant for God realization. It represents the Supreme Lord. So it's important to know that, there is a particular thing about the Gayatri mantra, and generally speaking, your spiritual master will initiate you in the Gayatri mantra if you request it so. And but it's good, but it's not necessary to achieve self-realization. So one shouldn't have to think like, oh, I need to have, there's something higher, higher than the chanting of Krishna's names, or like there's steps or something. It's not like that. It's really about your attitude and your consciousness and what kind of sincerity you have within doing these things. But the Gayatri mantra is a very special mantra, and it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success at chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness, according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri mantra. The Gayatri mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator, and it is passed down from him in disciplic succession. The months of November and December are considered to be the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time, and the people become very happy. Of course, spring is a season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold, and the flowers and trees blossom and flourish. In spring, there are so many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons, and it is the representative of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So nice things to think about, Also, if you're, Hawaii doesn't have so much of a season. We do, but it's not as prominent, like, say, on the mainland or whatnot, where it's very cold in the winter, and then the spring comes along and all the flowers come out and whatnot. And the summer comes, it's very hot, and then the fall happens, it starts to cool down a little bit, and the leaves drop and whatnot. And so spring is a very beautiful time of rebirth and beauty and birds and things that are coming out of this, winter season. And so it's very nice to think, oh, it's springtime. And I think about, because spring is like Krishna, it's a great way to remember Krishna. Duyutam chala yatam ashmi tejas vinamaham jayoshmi vayayava soyoshmi Sattvam Sattvatam Aham Duyutam, gambling, Chalayatam, of all cheats, Ashmi, I am, Teja, splendid, Teja Vinam, of everything splendid, Aham, I am, Jaya, victory, Ashmi, I am, Vyavya Shaha, adventure, Ashmi, I am, Sattvam, strength, Sattvatam, of the strong, Aham, I am. Text 36, I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Purport, there are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As a supreme, Krishna could be more deceitful than any mere man. True. Very true. Krishna is he's clever, He's clever. He will trick you in a way to get you to do something. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among enterprising industrialists, he is the most enterprising. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous, and among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. No one could surpass him in cheating. No one could surpass him in splendor. No one could surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise, and no one can surpass him in strength. I think it's be really nice because this reminds me so much of the Nectar of Devotion. You know, if you've read any of the Nectar of Devotion, actually our spiritual master has recommended that we meditate upon it and we read it, and not read it, but we contemplate it, because it represents so much of the elements of Krishna and devotion to Krishna. And this just reminds me of Krishna, of the Nectar of Devotion. So we maybe will, the Bhaktivedanta translated and purported upon the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, which is the Nectar of Devotion. And so that might be something we will do in the future, hopefully. Text 37. Vrishinam Vasudevoshmi Padavanam Dhananjayaha Muninam api aham vyashaha kavinam vinam nishana kavihi Vishinam. Of the descendants of Vrishni, Vasudeva, Krishna and Dwarka, Ashmi, I am. Pandavanam, of the Pandavas, Dhananjaya, Arjuna. Muninam, of the sages, Api, also. Aham, I am. Vyashaha, Vyasa, the compiler of Vedic literature. Kavinam, of all great thinkers. Usana, Kavihi, the thinker. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and of the great thinkers, I am Ushana. So I'm not familiar with Ushana, but see what Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada says. This is very interesting. I would love to go back over this and get a little deeper into all these comparisons. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Vasudeva is the immediate expansion of Krishna. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appear as the sons of Vasudeva. Among the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous and valiant. Indeed, he is the best of men and therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis, or learned men conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. Vyasadeva was actually the literary incarnation of Krishna, and because he knew that in the age of Kali, people's memory would be short and not very intelligent, he took what was oral, all the Vedic knowledge, what was learned orally, and wrote them down, including the Vedas, the Vedanta Sutras, the Puranas, the things like the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, and of course eventually the Srimad Bhagavatam, because it made it so that people could read these things in the age of Kali. And Vyasa is known as the incarnation of Krishna, because therefore Vyasa also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushana was the spiritual master of the demons. Okay, interesting. He was extremely intelligent, far-seeing, political, and spiritual in every way. Thus, Ushana is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. I wonder if there was a spiritual master, and I'm not sure if it must have been Ushana, because I think Bali Maharaj was born in the demoniac class, and Ushana was telling him to not was it Bali Maharaj? It was not to give away he gave away pretty much everything, because he made an offering, and Lord Krishna came as Vamanadev and was able to trick Bali Maharaj, but Usana kept telling him, don't trust this guy, don't trust this dwarf. He was like, he knew who he was. It's the Supreme Lord. But Bali was, very pure devotee. So let's know the story in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the incarnation of Manadev. Text 38. Dando damayatam asmi netir ashma jigi shatam maunam shaiva shami guyanam gananavatam aham. Dandaha, punishment. Damayatam, of all separation. Asmi, I am. Niti, morality. Asmi, I am. Jigishatam, of the victorious. Maunam, silent. Cha, end. Eva, also. Ashmi, I am. Guyanam, of secrets. Ganam, knowledge. Ganavatam, of the wise. Aham, I am. Among punishment, I am the rod of chastisement of those who seek victory. I am morality. It's interesting. There's a biblical verses in the talking about the rod of God's chastisement also. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am wisdom. Very beautiful, What's Mauna is also very special. It's one that says that people should not engage in, when they should practice Mona, especially during very your sadhana bhakti time, because it's silence, but it's actually meaning more of talking only of things that are spiritually related and not talking about unnecessary things, which is a good practice anyways, because you should just guard your tongue against so many things that are just useless, not only useless, but dangerous, sometimes offensive, fault-finding, gossiping, with things that people love to do, talking about just nonsense stuff. It's just because you really only have a certain amount of time in this life. Why waste it? Why engage in, garbage talk and using the things that Krishna has given you, your ability to speak and your knowledge and whatnot in your body, in the purpose of spewing garbage. That's why, a lot of times I just don't even bother engaging in the nonsense talk of what people do, because it's just such a waste. Better to practice Mona. It's inner strength. Therefore, there are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the rod of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. That's good, when you're dealing with something, it's good to be moral about things and not immoral. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is the most important, because by silence, one can make progress very quickly. Yeah, makes sense. If you're just putting garbage into your river, the water is not going to be clean. But if you take out the garbage from your river, and the water will, and speak of, only put pure things into your water system, it'll eventually become very pure, and you won't want to put any more garbage in it. The wise is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, because God's superior and inferior natures, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Very nice. Text 39. Yachapi Sharva Bhutanam Spijam Tadaham Arjuna Na tad yashti vinayata shayan. Maya bhutam charam. Yat, whatever. Cha, also. Api, maybe. Sarva bhutanam, of all creations. Bijam, the seed. Tat, that. Aham, I am. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Na, not. Tat, that. Ashti, there is. Vina, without. Tat, yat, that. Shayat, exists. Maya, by me. Bhutam, created. Chara, charam, moving and unmoving. Translation 39. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. Beautiful. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the unmovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. Text 40. Anantashti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa. Esha tudeshata prokto vibhutar vishtaro maya. Na, nor, antaha, a limit, asti, is there. Mama, of my. Divyanam, divine. Vibhutinam, opulences. Parantapa, O conqueror of the enemies. Eshaha, all this, to that. Udeshataha, examples. Proktaha, spoken. Vibhutehe, opulences. Vishtara, expanded. Maye, by me. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Purport. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply, a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify the inquisitiveness. 41. Yadyad vibhutinam sattvam shrimad urjitam shrimad urjitam evava. Tad evava gacha svatvam mama tejo mrisha sambhavam. I'm a little bit trouble with that verse. Yat, whatever. Vibhuti, opulences. Mat, having. Sattvam, existences. Shrimat, beautiful. Urjitam, glorious. Eva, certainly. Va, or. Tat, all those. Eva, certainly. Avagacha, you must know. Tvam, you. Mama, my. Teja, splendor. Ashma, partly. Sambhava, born of. I love that word, Srimad, like beautiful. Beautiful. Srimad Bhagavatam. Beautiful Bhagavatam. Srimad. Know that all my beauty. Let's try this again. Text 41. Know that all my beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. And what an amazing thing. And it's just the opulences, the beautiful and glorious creations. They are just a spark of Krishna's splendor of infinite beauty. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. So sometimes we see very beautiful things. We hear beautiful music. This is Krishna, Krishna. We just say Krishna. I see the beauty of the Hawaiian sunrise, we just say, oh, Krishna, just so beautiful. Krishna, Krishna, so beautiful. We hear a beautiful Bach concerto or whatnot, and we just say, oh, Krishna, Krishna is so beautiful. Atava bahunai tena kim ganetena tavarjuna vishta bayadham idam krishnam ekam shena stito jagat atava or bahuna many etena by this kind kim what ganetena knowing tava you Arjuna, O Arjuna, Vishtabhya, entire, Aham, I, Idam, this, Krishnam, all manifestations, Eka, one, Amshena, part, Shtitaha, situated, Jagat, in the universe. Text 42, translation. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire universe, material universes, by his entering into all things as a supersoul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. So it's a very important point. We don't need to try to analyze things independent of Krishna, really, because there is no real independence. There is no existence without Krishna. There's no relevance for things independent of Krishna. Indeed, actually, without Krishna, people start to speculate and try to assume crazy phantasmagoria stories about where things come from and how things are maintained. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as supersoul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, they all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. Worship of demigods is discouraged herein because even the greatest demigods like Brahma and Shiva only represent part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born. No one is greater than him. He is Samata, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Vishnu mantra, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with the demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. Wow, that's heavy. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energies, then one can understand that without any doubt, the position of Lord Sri Krishna, and I don't know where my brain is, I keep putting words in here where there's not, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the Supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 to 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter, and that's for sure. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. Awesome. So cool. All right, so that's such a beautiful chapter. I think it's something that warrants contemplating, especially learning a little bit more about some of those different things that were referenced there. We will continue next time with chapter 11, reading the universal form, and the plot thickens. Krishna will reveal more of his opulence by showing his universal form or his cosmic form expansion in this chapter, the universal form. We will do a read through next time, and just curious about how long. That's a pretty long chapter. Just seeing how long that is. Yeah, that's pretty. 55 verses. Okay, it's a big chapter. So we'll get into it next time. Let's just chant a little bit. I forgot we were going to chant some more. End by some chanting. Hari Bol, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bo. Thank you very much. See you next time. Namaste.